In the summer of 1941, the German army advanced deep into Soviet territory. They relied on light and medium tanks, primarily the Panzer III and Panzer IV, expecting them to handle any resistance. Instead, they encountered the Soviet T-34 and the heavy KV-1. Standard German anti-tank guns simply bounced off the thick, sloped armor of the Soviet machines. Entire German armored columns were halted by a handful of heavy Soviet tanks. A rapid response was required. The German High Command bypassed standard development cycles. They demanded a breakthrough tank capable of mounting the lethal 88mm anti-aircraft gun, a weapon already proven to penetrate Soviet armor at extreme ranges. The contract was awarded to Henschel, and by late 1942, the Panzerkampfwagen VI, universally known as the Tiger I, entered production. It was a massive steel box, relying on sheer thickness of unsloped armor rather than modern aerodynamic deflections. The Tiger I's battlefield effectiveness was immediately apparent. At the Battle of Kursk in 1943, Tigers destroyed hundreds of Soviet tanks from distances exceeding 2,000 meters, well beyond the effective range of the Soviet 76mm guns. The front armor of a Tiger I could absorb direct hits from almost any Allied tank of the period. This created a profound psychological effect on Allied forces, a phenomenon Western troops would later call Tiger phobia. Allied doctrine was forced to adapt. American and British crews were instructed not to engage a Tiger head-on. Instead, they utilized overwhelming numerical superiority and flanking maneuvers to target the weaker side and rear armor. The British modified their standard Sherman tanks to carry a massive 17-pounder gun, creating the Sherman Firefly, one of the few Allied tanks capable of reliably penetrating a Tiger from the front. Simultaneously, the Allies relied heavily on ground attack aircraft and artillery to bypass tank-on-tank engagements entirely. Despite its combat record, the Tiger I possessed a fatal vulnerability: its own weight. At 54 tons, it frequently broke the bridges it needed to cross. Its complex interleaved road wheels routinely froze solid in Russian mud and ice. Moving a single broken-down Tiger required 3 specialized towing half-tracks. German records indicate that more Tigers were destroyed by their own crews to prevent capture after mechanical failures than were ever knocked out by enemy fire. Rather than focusing on reliability, Germany doubled down on heavy armor. In early 1944, they introduced the Tiger II, unofficially known as the King Tiger. It combined the thick armor of the Tiger I with the sloped armor profile of the Soviet T-34, making its frontal glacis essentially immune to any Allied tank gun of the war. It was armed with the KWK-43, a longer and even more lethal variant of the 88mm gun. The Tiger II weighed an astonishing nearly 70 tons. However, due to raw material shortages and production constraints, it was fitted with the exact same Maybach engine used in the lighter Tiger I. The engine was dangerously underpowered for a vehicle of this mass. It guzzled massive amounts of aviation fuel and placed immense strain on a delicate transmission system that was never designed to handle such weight. By late 1944 and 1945, the strategic reality of the war had shifted. Germany had lost air superiority and its fuel refineries were decimated by Allied bombing. During the Battle of the Bulge, Tiger II spearheaded the offensive, but dozens were abandoned intact simply because they ran out of gasoline. The heaviest, most advanced tank of the war spent its final months operating more as a stationary pillbox than a mobile assault weapon. In the end, total production numbers reflect the fundamental flaw in the heavy tank doctrine. The United States built over 50,000 Sherman tanks, and the Soviet Union built over 80,000 T-34s. Germany produced fewer than 1,400 Tiger Is, and only 490 Tiger IIs. Tactical superiority on the battlefield could not overcome a fundamentally flawed logistical strategy.